Hello, I'm Sister Rose Pacatte here in Los Angeles. My two films this week are The Lucky One and A Separation. The Lucky One comes from the pen of Nicholas Sparks, the best-selling author, and the director Scott Hicks. What we have here is the story of a returning Marine from Iraq. And when he's there in the midst of all this rubble and all these attacks, he finds the picture of a young woman. That kind of serves like a lucky charm for him, and it saves him from being blown up a couple of times. And when he gets home, he has post-traumatic stress disorder, and he goes to his sister's house, and it becomes very evident that he's really not that well. But he can't get the picture of this young woman out of his mind, so he starts off on a cross-country walk to find her, and he does in Louisiana. And he has his faithful dog Zeus with him. Of course, it's Nicholas Sparks. It's a love story. There's a formula here. Somebody will die, but you won't feel that bad about it. But there's a lot of sorrow, tragedy. There's conflict between, this woman and her former husband. There's a beautiful child and a loving grandmother played by Blythe Danner. I did like the film. However, this is not the greatest film ever made. It's light, it's eye candy. Zac Efron as Logan, this ex-Marine. He's really good. He's not just a pretty face, although he certainly is that too. There are really adult themes in here, and there's a couple of encounters between Zac Efron and the woman Beth, that played by Taylor Schilling, that probably would require a more mature person, but I think that because of Zac Efron's popularity with High School the Musical, this is probably going to attract a younger audience than perhaps was intended. However, please take a look at my longer review at AmericanCatholic.org or on faithandmedia.org, because I had a chance to interview Nicholas Sparks and the director, the producer, Denise DeNovi, and they kind of shed light when Nicholas Sparks says that when he puts these encounters in his films, he does so with the intent that these people are never going to separate. They are now together for life, even if there's not a marriage per se. It's always implied in his stories, that idea of people marry for life. So I think that that's a good thing to keep in mind, but even though there's no explicit sexuality in the film, it certainly is heavily implied. But it's a beautifully crafted film, and it's a romance set against the backdrop of war, of our returning veterans, and I think that it has something to say about that too. My next film is the Iranian film A Separation. It's in Farsi with English subtitles. This won an Oscar for the best foreign language film this year, and it certainly, I think, deserves it, even though I saw a couple of the other films in different languages, and they were good too. However, this film takes place in modern times, and there's a husband and wife, and they're before a judge, just them and the judge, and they're petitioning for a divorce. But you can see that they really do love each other. But we find out that they've had a visa for quite a while to leave the country, and the time is running out. But the husband now doesn't want to leave because his father's developed Alzheimer's. But the wife, I think she's a professor, and they have a daughter, an 11-year-old daughter, and she wants her daughter to come out, and she lets it slip that there's no future for them. And the judge gets, she really gets scared at that point. Well, she gets home and she leaves, but she doesn't leave the country. She just moves back to her parents' house because she wants to wait out the daughter, who doesn't want to leave her father and grandfather either. But it gets really complicated, because then the husband has to hire a woman or somebody to look after the father while he's at work. Well, the woman he hires is a bit of a religious group. She's got religious scruples. She's Islamic, yes, but she has great scruples. And even before she'll change this man, when he weds himself, she will only do it if she first calls up and gets the okay from, I guess, the hotline to find out what's permitted and what's not. It's a really interesting film. The dialogue is perfection in a movie that we really, most of us cannot understand. We certainly understand through the acting, which is really fine, and the pathos and the idea that there are many separations when when people are in a situation that is really untenable. The choices are so many, but yet which one will they make? You have to watch the movie and find out. Thank you, God bless you, and I hope that you'll join me next time when we look for seeds of the gospel in today's movies.